lovely people, Nina here. So on my channel, I feel like I'm very clearly talk about the environment and how much it means to me, and how basically my entire life I've just been an environmentalist and care more about the environment and how things like global warming impact countries and impact us, and how certain companies are contributing to said global warming. I've talked about different books that you can read that are helpful to learn about what's happening in the environment. But I feel like today, with everything that has been happening amongst the book community, and what I've seen, especially with overconsumption and issues like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I need to once again talk about my absolute hatred for Amazon, because I feel like it's once again coming up just because people are consuming, especially on those 2 days which just happened. And there was Small Business Saturday, which is so important that it was supported, and companies like Amazon are driving away business and customers from these small businesses. And so today's video, I feel like once again it's really important that we talk about the environment and overconsumption and books and how those all go together, and Amazon being at the front of this, because I hate that company with my whole soul. I hate Jeff Bezos. Horrible, horrible human being. Yeah. So today's video, that is what we are going to be addressing. According to Forbes, as of 2024, I believe, I don't think it was updated since 2024. As of 2024, Jeff Bezos is worth $245 billion. He is also a staunch Donald Trump supporter. You see where this is going. Donald Trump, who has actively proposed bills and taken funding away from places like libraries. Donald Trump, who has taken food and benefits away from the most vulnerable and the poorest people in the country. Donald Trump, who doesn't care about anyone but himself. The same goes for Jeff Bezos. He doesn't care about anyone but himself and money. Clearly, when you get to $245 billion, you don't care about anyone but yourself. No billionaire cares about anyone but themselves, because you don't get to $1 billion by caring about anyone else. Right? Right. So, his company, everyone knows, Amazon, is not only driving down business for small businesses where they can't compete. Amazon has the benefit, because they make so much money, that they can slash their book prices to numbers that bookstores cannot even come close to affording to be able to do. Small bookstores are supported by consumers like us, and do not have the benefit and do not have the amount of income coming in to be able to match Amazon's prices. Therefore, Amazon is single-handedly shutting out small businesses and shutting out bookstores. And there's a whole bunch of articles on this. I'll leave more information down below. But they're actively contributing to shutting small businesses and shutting bookstores. So if you really care about books, and you care about reading, and you care about the environment and what they're doing, what Amazon is doing, I encourage you to support local bookstores. There's bookshop.org, which is a really cool site which allows you to shop online through and connect it through a small business and a small bookstore. therefore, if you don't have a way, you don't have a library near you, you don't have a bookshop near you, but you still want to shop online, you can shop through bookshop.org and still support local businesses and local bookstores. And it is also a B Corp, which means that they are up to the certain B Corp environmental protections, which Amazon is not. And of course, my number one suggestion would be always, 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 always to support your local library. Libraries right now, like I've said, are hurting because of Donald Trump and his cuts to funding for the ALA, for libraries getting grants and getting money and getting funding. He's slashed all that because he seems that that is not important. And so libraries are hurting and they need our support more than ever. So I would encourage you to get a library card and to just visit your local library. I've talked about this before, but they also have really cool apps like Libby and like Hoopla and Canopy. And those apps are only possible because we support the library and because we can donate to the library. And overall, just talk about the importance to libraries and how much they're needed. As far as overconsumption goes, there's so many people on this app who will talk about my 500 plus book haul from Amazon. I've talked about this in multiple other videos, but there's so much waste that goes along with that because most of the time for them, reading is more about consumption and more about how a book looks or about how much they can buy, and then once it's not trendy anymore, they're done with it and they don't want the book anymore. And a lot of the times they're not reading 500, 1,000, 200 even books in one setting. They just want it to fill their bookshelves and to look aesthetically pretty. They might read one or two, and then the rest, if they get tired of them, they do an unhaul it, which again I've talked about before, and then these books end up either in a landfill or in a thrift store. The only upside, it is very dim, but the only upside to them ending up in a thrift store is that someone like me or you can get a practically new book. Most of the time I've thrifted quite a few books before and the spines aren't even cracked. So a lot of the times you can get a brand new book for like a fraction of the price because people don't read them and they just unhaul them. So it goes from a 200 plus book haul to an unhaul it video, and it's just a way for them to generate more content and to, again, not care about the environmental impacts, because with something like Amazon, when you're ordering books off of Amazon, it's not only taking money from small businesses that can't afford to keep up and hurting these small bookstores, it's also a huge environmental impact. And Amazon has generated over 208 million pounds of plastic. So when you are ordering from Amazon, not only do we have to worry about if it's coming by air and flight fuel and all that, whether it's coming by an Amazon truck and the environmental cost of that. They're also the largest, or one of the largest, plastic contributors, and all of this then goes into our oceans and it's consumed by sea turtles and whales and fish, and it's again contributing to global warming. And it just makes me physically sick, because why would we choose to support someone like Amazon, where we have someone like Jeff Bezos who's worth billions of dollars, who doesn't care about anyone but himself and would just prefer to line his pockets and support someone like Donald Trump, who is an evil, horrible person, and then also is contributing to shut local bookstores, kill the environment, and just doesn't care about anyone but himself. And I hate Amazon, and it just hurts. And I know with like apps like Libby, you can get ebooks on there. There's so many alternative ebooks that aren't Amazon, that aren't the Kindle, where you don't have to support whatever Amazon's, what's their web browser? Their book, is it just Amazon Kindle? That supports their book company. Buying it and consuming it, you are helping, again, Jeff Bezos, and it's horrible. Like, why? So I know that there's like Kobo. There's so many alternative e-readers that if you prefer to read digitally, then there's other alternatives out there, and it's not that hard. Just a little bit of research on DuckDuckGo, not Google, because Google is horrible too. Different story, different time. They're no better than Amazon. And just do a little bit of research. It's good for your brain to research and read and look up other alternatives that aren't Amazon, because there's thousands out there. And yeah, and not only is Amazon hurting the book community, hurting the environment, two things that I love and I talk about in ad nauseum so much over and over and over again, it's also aiding in the genocide that's happening in Palestine. Their Amazon services, their AI tech, their cloud-based tech is aiding Israel and helping them with continuing the genocide that is happening in Palestine. And it's so, like, sickening to me that this has just been continuing on, and especially right now in Palestine, it's becoming winter and cold, and they don't have anywhere safe and warm to live, and it's flooding, and they've had constant rain and droughts, and these people, there hasn't been a ceasefire, even though they have put out the propaganda that there's been a ceasefire. There hasn't been. They've been continuously bombing Palestine and Gaza, and Amazon, through their services like AI and their cloud-based tech, same with Google, have all been aiding in this. And so I just don't think that if you care about people, you care about the environment, you care about reading and books, that you can rightfully support a company like Amazon, Google. And yeah, so this week's video, I encourage you to utilize your library that Trump has tried and is been defunding. Get a library card, hang out in your library. There's so many amazing books. Support your local bookstores, thrift books, and just don't use Amazon. If you want a really great book to read, I encourage you to read 1984. This is a really cool graphic novel. I feel like it's very timely for right now. And the graphic novel of this is amazing, and I've talked about this multiple times on my channel. I got this at a local bookstore, and I didn't even know that it was a thing until I saw it at my bookstore, and it's like, that's so cool. But it's all in black and red, and it's just really cool. And if you know the story of 1984, I feel like this is a really good, timely read, and I would encourage you to read this, especially the graphic novel. It's really cool. And like I said, I found this at a local bookstore. So, yeah. That is it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and that you do not support Amazon. Do not support Jeff Bezos and anything that he does. and support your local libraries instead. I love you all. I will see you next Friday with a brand new video. As always, free Palestine, free Sudan, free Congo. May all countries live free from oppression. I love you all. I'll see you Friday. Bye.